Hi, everyone, and welcome to Studio Jake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Yes, fully participating in No Shave November. I want to talk about something because I have to admit something. It appears that I was wrong. Yes, I admit it. I'm a big man. I can admit when I'm wrong. That's rare in the pop culture YouTube space, I know. But apparently, I was wrong about one piece of media that I was very excited about. What was that, you might ask? That was Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. That's right. And before I dive into it, be sure to like this video, share it out to all your friends. Please subscribe to the channel, and of course, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Okay, so Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was billed to all of the fans as a direct adaptation of the comic book series from Oni Press, and they were using all these really cool visuals. The animation looks fantastic, by the way, but something prevented me from actually sitting down to stream it, to binge it, because I was fully prepared to watch Scott Pilgrim Takes Off in all of its glory, to see Scott Pilgrim fight for the love of his life, Ramona Flowers, and they brought back Edgar Wright to produce. They brought back most of the cast from the film starring Michael Cera, who returns as Scott Pilgrim. It was looking very exciting. Everything looked like it was going to go in order. It looked like a big love letter to the fans. That's certainly how it was advertised. Just like the Netflix version of He-Man, nothing but a bait and switch. That's right. It appears that Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was just another woke diatribe dressed up with a brand that everyone recognized. And I'm sad to say this, I'm disappointed. I was prepared for Scott Pilgrim to be a little politically correct. They were going to change some things that were problematic for the woke weirdos on social media. But unfortunately, it wasn't just that, it was a total overhaul. It was an outright lie that it was a direct adaptation. Now, there are going to be some spoilers that I read about that I did independently verify, since I did not, since I decided not to watch the show when I found these things out, because that was going to be my big return video. I was going to make it part of my comics, cartoons, and coffee series where I was going to talk about it and how excited I was. And well, that episode will never come to light because, from what I read, and again, spoiler alert, Scott Pilgrim dies in the first episode and doesn't really even return until episode 4. Now, when I first heard people saying this on social media, I took it with a huge grain of salt, because I see folks who are even on my side of the aisle. They exaggerate things. Like we saw that with the actress who plays Miss Marvel. Folks who, like, I might align with normally, they were making all these claims about a statement she made. But then when I went and read the statement myself, it was a perfectly graceful response to the box office failure of the Marvels. And I'll do a separate video about why that happened. But first, just back to Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, I decided to independently verify what I was reading on social media. I didn't go out seeking spoilers. It's just on the premiere day, I wanted to see what people were saying. And before I sat down to watch it, I was very curious because I have a day job, like most of us. So I have to wait a lot. And I wasn't seeking spoilers. But then right off the bat, I saw right away some really poor details suggesting that Scott Pilgrim dies in the first episode, and that Ramona Flowers, she becomes the main character, and it's her battling her exes because of inclusivity. And I actually went and independently verified this, and it turns out to be absolutely true. And I am devastated. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is an incredible film, and the book series, simply called Scott Pilgrim, is an amazing comic. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I thought it was well written. And same with the movie. The movie kind of compressed the story, and they just sort of took important scenes so that for the fans, but it was not a direct adaptation. It was more like a summation film, done very well, by the way. I love Edgar Wright. He's one of my favorite directors. But as it turned out, Netflix wanted to turn it into another woke scree to, bait and switch the fans. It can't be just about Scott Pilgrim. It's got to be about Ramona and her relationship. It can't be about a man trying to win the heart of a girl that he likes and fighting for her. No, it can't be about that. That's the patriarchy. The patriarchy, that thing that bailed us out of World War I and World War II. I'm kidding about that. I don't even believe the patriarchy exists except in Europe. But anyway, neither here nor there. It's got to be about Ramona reclaiming her agency and showing that she's a strong, powerful woman, even though that was perfectly clear in both the comic and the movie. But no, it's got to be updated for this fictitious modern audience that doesn't exist. And I'm so disappointed because the guy who wrote the comic was involved with this animated series. I don't know what it is. This guy, Neil Gaiman, um, Alan Moore, all of these creators, they go back and then they want to backstab the very fans that made their property so popular, and and then throw them under the bus. Call all of us istophobes. We're seeing that with Doctor Who right now. Russell T Davies. Everyone was so excited because he was the guy who brought Doctor Who into the modern era. He left, Steve Moffat took over, and then some rando guy took it up. Now, please note, I'm a total normie when it comes to Doctor Who. I know some of the actors' names. I've never watched a single episode, maybe one or two, just because I was curious. But just so you know, so when it comes to that, I'm a total normie. Bottom line, Russell T Davies, he comes back and he makes this big announcement about one of the show's villains, and the fans are angry about it. And what does he do? He starts mocking them in the comments. I don't understand this attitude where they've got to backstab those of us who made these properties important. It's going on with DC, with Marvel, with video games, with Star Wars, and it's absolutely crazy that this kind of stuff is happening. And Scott Pilgrim, I thought would be the one. Like I said, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more politically correct. Netflix tends to teeter on that, but instead, it's got to be a total overhaul of the story. It can't be about Scott Pilgrim, even though his name. I don't know why they just didn't call it Ramona Flowers Takes Off. Just admit it. But no, because they knew that the fans wouldn't tune in for a rewrite of a show written by a lazy writer who doesn't know what he's doing. And the fact that they lied to our faces, making it seem in the trailers and the clips that they released that this was going to be a direct adaptation. If companies keep pulling stuff like this, no one's going to tune in anymore. So far, Amazon has kind of been hit and miss. We saw this with Reacher. I thought Reacher was a very good adaptation of the books. I've only read 2 of the books, so book fans of Reacher, please let me know if I'm wrong about that. The Terminal List, I thought was a fantastic adaptation, but then now they're doing stuff like that dumb Batman Christmas animated movie that Warner Brothers didn't want, and so Amazon picked it up. And now Netflix did it with He-Man. I don't know why anyone trusts Netflix anymore with adapting their properties. It's the only good ones that I have seen has been Sonic. They've done a good Sonic TV show, and I thought Bloodshot, for all of its faults, was actually a pretty good film. Just turn off your brain and enjoy the action. There's not going to be any strong debate on the morality or the condition of man, but you know what I mean. With this, though, I am really disappointed. And, if people keep doing this, people in Hollywood keep doing this, where they're going to portray their fans, their audience, their viewers, all to score a couple of high fives on social media, it's going to continue to cause consternation at the box office. And I don't know what they're thinking. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment, tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, studiojakemedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.